One sort of feeling inside Nepal is that Nepal may be used as a playground of foreign forces.
Hello, you're watching People's Dispatch, and today we are joined by a very special guest, Madhav Kumar Nepal, the former Prime Minister of Nepal, the chairman of the Communist Party of Nepal, Unified Socialist, one of the leading voices in South Asia for internationalism and against imperialism. And we're talking to him at a very important time. Victoria Nuland, the infamous Victoria Nuland of Maidan fame, has come to Nepal recently. There's been something called the Millennium Challenge Corporation, the MCC, which has been very controversial. Thank you so much for joining us. And could you maybe first talk about some of these aspects I was talking about? The MCC is an issue your party opposed for the longest time. It opposed this foreign intervention. So, what really is the agenda of the US in Nepal? Why is it so keen to push projects such as the MCC?
The leadership of the party, the chairman of the party, the then my party, Communist Party of Nepal, Unified Marxist Leninist, CPN UEML, the chairperson who was the prime minister at that time, has accepted MCC and at the same time SPP, which was the part of the IPS. So there was a big debate within the party. Huge debate was started at that time, and there was a strong opposition in the party, central committee or among the party, rank and file. Then the party formed a task force to study about all the documents, and then they looked for all the documents, but some of the documents were not provided to them. It means there is something suspicious behind that one. Regardless of that very documents which were not provided at the time, the study has some conclusions that we cannot support EMCC in the present form because something is hidden behind. It is related to IPS. If it is related to Indo-Pacific strategy, which is very clear that it wants to target three countries. Number one, Russia. Number two, China. Number three, North Korea. And the documents we have got at that time has clearly mentioned about targeting these countries as an enemy and to isolate China. Then we at that time thought that it is an international conspiracy against China. The same USA has at one time made a plan to dismantle USSR and play the role to collapse socialism there. And for that, they have penetrated inside the leadership of the party, and the end result we know. What happened in 1990? Because of Gorbachev, Yeltsin leadership, they have dismantled the USSR, have collapsed the socialism there. Even they have, you can say, dissolved the Communist Party of Soviet Union. So this has been the lesson we have learnt because of the role of USA in Russia. Then they may have their target to again weaken China, even create division inside China by penetrating inside the Tibet, also creating troubles in Muslim populous, province, Xinjiang. And that's why there is one sort of feeling inside Nepal is that Nepal may be used as a playground of foreign forces. What we wanted to avoid is that we should not give any space to foreign forces so that Nepal will be in trouble. And you know, our ancestors, since Prithvinarayan Shah and other rulers, have clearly mentioned that our foreign policy should be very, completely sensitive regarding our neighboring countries' moves. And it was at that time indicating China and India. Now the third force came in, USSR, USA, as a superpower who wants to have a control over the world, who want to dictate the world. They want to create, they want to maintain the old world order. So whoever opposes that world order, old world order, and create a new world order, they want to completely make fail that sort of attempt. That's why we thought that we should not be the part of this strategy. We should not be linked to this strategy. And as all the time we have been telling, that Nepal is a land of peace. Nepal is a country where Buddha was born. So his teachings should be taken as our priority and tell other countries and communicate to them, give the message to them that Nepal should not be bogged down in these types of turmoil or problem. That's why we raise the issue. You know that after uh, Mr. Wali, who was the prime minister at the time, has resigned, and new government with our support has taken the responsibility. Mr. Sher Bahadeva, the leader of the Nepali Congress, the chairperson of the Nepali Congress, became the prime minister. Then he wanted to pass that AMCC in the parliament. The problem before us was that the Communist Party of Nepal, UAML, where the big debate was started at a time, and later on, because of many other reasons, there was a split in the party. We have formed a new party by revolt, and then the Communist Party of Nepal, the Unified Socialists, came into being, and the Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist Center, Mr. Pushpakal Dahal Prachanda, both of us have to leave that party, and then the unity which was already been there by forming a new party, that the Communist Party of Nepal, CPN. We deleted Maoist Center, the word, we deleted UEML word, and a plain Communist Party of Nepal was there. But because of the tendency of Mr. KP Wali and his steps taken by as the Prime Minister to dissolve the Parliament, a big debate ensued there, and it has already created a new situation. Then the government of Mr. Wali collapsed and new government took place. Again, the problem was about the MCC, because USA was pressurizing the new government also to pass it in the parliament. The question was there that why should it be brought into the parliamentary table? If it is agreement between the two governments, then why should parliament be involved? But there was an agreement between the government of Nepal and MCC. Then the question was raised that what to do. There was big debate, and what we have after studying that document found that there is something wrong there. So we raised few issues. Number one, if it is related to the involvement of the military or military security issues using the land of Nepal or involving Nepal in that process, either it is IPS or American involvement in Nepalese soil, having their military base or whatever military or security connected issues, we should not accept that. We have to reject that. We have to say no to this agreement. But the problem was that Nepali Congress Party, New Liberal Party, having connections with the superpowers and serving the interest of these forces, were in favor of passing this MCC in the parliament. And at the same time, the Communist Party of Nepal, UAML, led by Mr. KP Wali, has asked him that if he break the alliance with us, it means Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist Center, and Communist Party of Nepal, Unified Socialist, we two leaders, me Madhav Nepal and Pushpakal Dahal Prachanda, then he will completely support without any additions, without any clarification. He will support the MCC to pass in the parliament. Then we found that there is some international rules and regulations regarding the treaty or agreement. It is called clarification notes. So we have some issues before us in many of the points. Then we made it clear that our involvement will not be there if it is related to the security issues, it is related to the military involvement. And it has to be clarified that it is completely an economic agreement. They are telling that it is only related to two issues. Number one, the transmission line will be built, road network can be developed. If it is related to the development issues or economic issues, we can support. If it benefits Nepal, if it is other than the economic issues, if other issues are hidden behind, we cannot support this. So we attached to the agreement, and as an additional document, it was passed by the majority of the parliamentarians and sent to the USA. Now the thing is that whether America or MCC has clearly accepted that or not, we want to see that document. So in our party also we have been discussing that we should ask the Prime Minister about that very document, which will be a document of acceptance by the MCC, that the same viewpoint which Nepal is taking is accepted by the USA. So we don't want to be linked with IPS or any military related issues.
Thank you so much for talking to us, for, as always, your crystal clear explanation of both the history, the current conjecture, and I think the future path of the left, which you talked about, and how you're going to go about it. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's all we have time for today. Keep watching People's Dispatch.